Welcome to It Is On You, the podcast where we stop pointing fingers and start looking in the mirror. It is a podcast where we challenge excuses, confront uncomfortable truth, and we start to take full responsibility of our life. And today, we are going to be talking about something affecting millions of people, every, everywhere, everyone, everywhere, globally. And today's topic is the rise of emotional unavailable people. People are becoming constantly emotional unavailable. It is increasing everywhere. So we're going to talk about it today. I'm your host, D. Tennessee T. Wilson. So let's dig deeper. We all know people crave companionship. It's everywhere. People crave connection. People crave being loved. It's there, deep down. We all know that. We all want intimacy. But the question is, why are we avoiding accountability? Why are we making ourselves emotionally unavailable? Why are we doing that? We desire connection but sabotage anything that is real because of our emotion, because we're protecting our emotion. And most people that do that, most people that go to the extreme to protect their emotion, they disguise themselves as independent and focusing on myself. I need my main time. I need my space. They are afraid. That is the main reason they are afraid. Sometimes it's okay to be afraid, but you have to understand. Being afraid is one thing. Making yourself emotional unavailable is another thing. Because if you make yourself emotional unavailable, you won't get that love you crave. You won't get that connection you crave. You won't get that companionship you crave. So you first have to make yourself emotionally available. Now, making yourself emotionally available comes with vulnerability. You have to be vulnerable. You have to know that things will happen. But that's part of life. So let's look at what is the meaning of being emotional unavailable. Now, it's not about not wanting love. Like I said, people want to be loved. People want connection. People want intimacy. But when you become emotional available, you are creating an environment, making yourself unequipped to handle connection, to handle love, to handle that intimacy when it shows up. Because when you are emotionally unavailable, you avoid emotional conversation. You don't talk about it. The moment it starts to feel emotional, you shut it down or you shut down. And then what happens most of the time, you start to build that defense. And then the next thing you realize, you start to fear commitment because you've already make yourself unavailable. You start, even when you're in relationship, you start to feel numb. You'll be physically present but emotionally absent. Because mentally, oh no, I'm not even talking to, because you have already put that in your mind. You have already created that word that you're not available emotionally. You love the idea of connection. You want to be with people. You want to be loved. You want to experience that intimacy, but you keep resisting the reality of it. So today I'm telling you, if you know or if you feel that you are emotional unavailable, you have to start to work your way back to become emotional available. That is the only way you will start to experience the best in life. You need to stop with that, how would I describe it? That self-protection. I'll say emotional self-protection. You disguise it as I'm independent. You need to do away with that thing. Because even when you are independent and you happen to find another independent person, you have to become interdependent. And when you become interdependent, you have to be emotionally free to have conversation. You have to be free with the person. You have to be able to talk in depth. Those uncomfortable conversation has to happen. You can't say you're independent when you're emotionally unavailable. You are just afraid. I know some of this conversation become overstimulated because emotions is involved. But don't shut down. Don't disappear. If you can have those conversations, those uncomfortable conversations with your friend, with your spouse, with your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the situation will be, because this doesn't have to do with only relationship. I have seen people break up relationship with their best friends just because they don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation. We have to be able to talk the uncomfortable truth. That's part of being accountable. We have to be able to do it. And that's what this show is all about. It is on you. You have to be responsible for your life. If you make yourself emotional unavailable, you are only setting a blockade and you are hurting yourself. Because like I said from the get-go, that we were created for connection. We were not meant to be alone. And having connection, you have to be invested emotionally as well. You can shield yourself from everything. Even when you're in relationship, even when you're with your friends, you're afraid to talk to them. Something is bothering you, but you're afraid to talk to them because you're afraid that they're going to judge you, they're going to say stuff. So you're afraid. You start to predetermine what a person going to do, what a person going to say before you even bring that thing to the table. Sometimes you just have to just do it. The Nike shoe, just do it. Sometimes just do it. And I tell people, instead of focusing on the negative thing that will happen, try to say, okay, what if I do this? It's going to be good. If you start to think that positive mindset, you have to say yes. Then guess what? You won't have to worry about making yourself vulnerable, especially when you're in a relationship. Because when you make yourself vulnerable, you make it easier to be in love. You make it easier to find love. But if you start to make yourself unavailable because you are afraid, guess what? You're not going to find that connection. You're not going to find that love. So it is very important we understand that. I know we are exposed to a lot of strategies online, a lot of drama, a lot of chaos, things happening everywhere. Those things alone can drain you emotionally. You know that, but that's part of life. The constant exposure to strategies online, drama, everywhere online. Chaos. Soon as you take your phone, it's there. Something's happening as you scroll. Those things alone can drain you emotionally. But don't allow that to make you to build defense, to become emotional unavailable. Don't allow that to take that phrase, self-love. The self-love movement is going extreme. It's everywhere. Self-love, self-love. Yes, I love myself. I want you to love yourself. It starts with you. But when you start to go to the extreme, you start to avoid those uncomfortable conversations just because you you're afraid, and you start to isolate yourself, and then you start to think that self-love. That is not self-love. Isolation is different than self-love. We want you to put yourself first, but we don't want you to be afraid. We don't want you to fear rejection. So because of that, you isolate yourself. Social media have magnified that fear rejection. One move you make, somebody already blocking you, deleting you. It's happening everywhere. So most people fear that. Most people don't want to be found in that situation, so they start to work that emotional risk line. Be like, hey, I don't want to battle anybody though. I'm just here. No, that is not life. The high pressure lifestyle, the hustle culture, that's already leave no room for emotional bandwidth. Everybody's hustling. Everybody try to be on that high pressure lifestyle. We all know what it is. That alone is emotional draining. So don't allow all those external factors to make you find yourself emotional unavailable. Because the moment you find yourself in that situation, guess what happened? It gives rise to casual intimacy, easy access for quick connection without any type of emotional responsibility because you are afraid. So you realize you just find yourself in situationship, complication, because you are afraid. And the funny thing, casual intimacy is increasing. A lot of people rather that one less thing, that quick boom, 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 and out, than that commitment because they are afraid. Trauma do play a part. Emotional trauma do play a part. But we need to be able to grow up. We need to heal. And if you protect yourself as being emotionally available, you are only shutting the door from healing. You're not going to heal if you shut the door. You're not going to heal when you have yourself are independent, knowing fully well you're just not emotionally available. You start to say, yeah, I don't need anyone. But what you already made is that you don't trust anyone. You are afraid. You don't want to be vulnerable. You think when you make yourself free, it's dangerous. So because of that, you create the emotional distance instead of becoming emotional honest with yourself. You create a distance. So if you're watching this video today, hyper independence, isolation, those are not flex. We were never created to be isolated. We need connection. We all crave that connection. We all crave that independence. We need to be emotionally available as well. Because that's the only way you will welcome the best in life. So stop keeping that conversation on that surface level. And don't shut down when things get serious or when emotions start to get involved. Do not shut down. And stop avoiding labeling your relationship. Because you avoid to label what your relationship is, you create all those nuances, situationship, slinking link, just because you don't want to label yourself with that emotional connection. So you create your own wall. And we see that all the time. There's more situationship online these days than ever. There's more slinking link than ever. Everyone's single, but yet then there's always somebody's there because you're telling yourself, you know what, I'm still afraid. Oh, I don't want to get hurt. Oh, I don't want he to do this. Oh, I don't want her to do this. All those things are just emotional boundary you are setting for yourself. And the funny thing, you're doing all these things, but you're still seeking validation instead of connection. Because social media amplify that validation status. Everybody want to be validated. So that's why you're seeking. And then when connection comes, you disappear. The moment emotion shows up, you disappear. You are afraid of losing your freedom, you will say. Are you afraid of losing your freedom more than losing that connection that you crave? This generation is already confused. They think being disconnected is a strength. Oh, I'm just going to be by myself. I'm just in my own lane. That's not strength. You will never succeed alone. It doesn't happen. You need partnership. You need networking. You need connection. We all know that. They say a dream alone is just a dream. A shared dream become a reality. So standing alone, flexing alone, no. If you're doing that, you will never feel secure. You always try to walk on an eggshell. Scary that you don't want to do something before people look at you some type of way. Before you say something that you're not supposed to say. You will never resolve conflict. You even feel alone even when you're together. So you have to work on your emotion. You have to become emotionally available. That is the only way you will find that real relationship. Being afraid will just ruin most of your relationship that you will find yourself in because you are afraid. So know that difference if you are afraid emotionally. Know that and try to work your way back. Practice communicating instead of withdrawing. Try to heal that unresolved trauma from your past. Stop using independent as a shield and then allow yourself to be loved because love requires coverage and being emotionally available requires accountability. That is why I always say it's on you. Your life is your responsibility. Real connection require you being vulnerable. You can't block everything and you think that someone's going to come in. Once again, thanks for listening. Make sure share the video, like my page, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will be back tomorrow, same place, same time.